Okay guys, Assalamualaikum and hello. So for our question is, what is the fundamental objective of capacity management and its impact on the airlines? Okay, so the first one is to minimize the loss of spillage. Okay, so what is spillage, guys? Spillage occurs whenever the demand is greater than the supply. So airline, they cannot afford to manage the demand due to the lack of seats available, and also this will lead them to the losses, profit loss. Okay, so if you guys still don't understand, I will give you an example. Okay, so for an example, there's a airline A and airline B. Okay, so at airline A, the tickets at festive season, all the tickets are sold already, but there are still a lot of people who are willing to pay more, to pay higher price to get into the aircraft, A. Okay, so because of the tickets are sold already and all the seats are not available already, so they run to the airline B, which is the seats still available, but they pay more for the aircraft, and so this will lead to loss of profit for the airline A. Okay, so I hope you guys understand what is spillage. That's all from me.
Hello there. Hi, for today I would like to talk to you about the spoillage. Now, before we even begin, what is a spoillage? Spoillage in airline means, despite of the fully booked of seats, the seat is still available during the takeoff. Now, why is it happen these things? The first thing is because late cancellation from the passenger itself. The second is the passenger still booked for the ticket but never show up. Now, what it has to do with the airline? They pay for the tickets, right? Now, this is one of the reasons of why. First of all, because of the ticket flight have been booked, there's a perishable item that is in the aircraft and is gonna do for losses because of the passenger of no-show. So, how to compensate it? How to tackle this situation? Now, the airlines do one sure thing. It will be calling overbooking. Now, what is overbooking? Overbooking stated that although the ticket have been fully booked, they still took tickets and they still took booking for tickets, so that if there is a passenger of no-show, if there is still a seat available, the overbooked passenger could compensate it. The next thing would be the example for the AirAsia. Now, AirAsia doesn't took that by chance, because overbooking tends to create an issue, tends to create something. Have you watched the news? For the airlines, it's quite miserable. Now, the thing is, the AirAsia do one thing particular. They would charge if you have any changes for your booking. Let's say if you book for the 25th April for the ticket, right? But suddenly you have matters to attend, so you book for the 26th. Now, that is available, that would be acceptable, but the price for it is higher than you ever expected. Now, that is from me. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
The third fundamental objective of capacity management is to maximize resource productivity. It means airline must be consistent with the strategy they offer to their passengers. This will lead to greater profit and reduced costs used by the airline. For example, AirAsia has chosen to be a domestic and low-cost flight. So passengers want to fly domestic and low-cost, they will choose AirAsia. That is all. Thank you.
Hi. Today I want to talk about the type of demand in air transportation service. So the first of all, the type direct demand, when this refer for demand of good and service, mean for final consumption. That mean their target is individual, and their target is the people, the customer that just want to have good satisfaction about about good and good service. They don't even care about the price. They just want the service and the goods. Basically, we can prove in elastic graph, when the price goes up, the demand change in very little. So that we proven in elastic demand curve. So that's all.
Hi everyone. Today I want to explain to you about derived demand. What is derived demand? Derived demand is to receive or obtain something else from something else. In other words, you using air transportation instead of other transportation because of travel. Once they decide to travel, then they will choose between these different modes of transportation, and then later they will choose between difference of airlines. There is a factor that will affect the derived demand, which is the first one is the commodity. What is commodity? Commodity is the product that can be traded, bought or sold. So if the product doesn't have enough demand, so it will affect the derived demand. Then the second factor is consumption, derived from the demand of the consumption or utilization in another goods or service. The third one is the competitor. The consumer will switch over to the rival airline if the rival airline offers lower price of the air ticket, so they will choose the lower price one. This derived demand can be shown from the elastic graph, which is the curve will be more linear, because if the price goes up, the demand will decrease, and if the price goes down, the demand will increase, and the gap between these two demand, we can see there is a lot between these two price. So yeah, thank you.